We'll start with questions in the room here in Calgary first, and then we'll go to questions via Zoom. So if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand, and we'll get to those questions after we've completed questions in the room.
Start now. Hey, Evan, I know it's only game one of the preseason, but you guys looked fairly tight, fairly sharp out there. What did you think of how things came together?
I thought it was a great effort. We kind of came in with a game plan, and we kind of executed it to a T. So I think it really paid off. The hard work everyone put in the summer, the 3 days of camp really paid off, and we just bought into what we came here to do, and we got the win.
What was your comfort level like out there? You seemed quite at home in a large role on the team, playing a whole bunch of minutes in a lot of key situations.
I felt great. It was just nice to finally get to play a game again. The first period is kind of more to get your feet under you, kind of keep it quick, keep the puck going forward, and kind of get your feet under you and kind of settle in for the second and third.
You've been that guy your whole career that plays a lot, in a lot of situations. So you're almost like the goalie who likes to get a lot of shots. Like if you get a lot of work, the better you get.
Yeah, I think it's like that with most people. If you stay in a rhythm, then it really helps. But that's the thing about being a pro is you got to be able to adapt in every situation. Luckily for me, that I got to play that role tonight, and I was happy with it.
When you've been a confident player your whole life, but this is another level. Do you have to reestablish that confidence, regain it somehow at the National Hockey League level? Definitely.
Every league's a different steps. You really have to ease into it. And I think now I'm pretty comfortable after being here last year and getting the exhibition game in today. I think it's my comfortability is really starting to show again.
Does last year seem like a long time ago when you were kind of red-shirting and going across Europe?
Yeah, it definitely felt like a while ago. I actually forgot about Europe now that you mention it. But it was a great experience. Last year really helped me out, I think, and it's just great to be back in the arenas with fans now too.
Thank you.
Evan, 22 minutes for you, 6 shots on net, but you probably took about 12, 15 shots towards the net. Is there an added emphasis to shoot the puck on your behalf?
Definitely, yeah. You really want to get the feel for the puck and really finding those shooting lanes, and there's not really a better time to work on it than an exhibition game, so I was really trying to do that.
Is there really a conscious effort? Are you thinking about wanting to shoot the puck? And I know you want to make the right play, but it seemed like you were able to find the shooting zones pretty comfortably today. Is that a conscious thing that you have on the ice?
A little bit, yeah. Like you said, you want to make the right play out there, but for me, I think a lot of the times it's really just put the puck on net and really try to get it through that first guy and get it towards the net. And I think tonight we did a great job at collapsing to the net and making it a lot easier and causing chaos in front.
First couple of days of camp, you said you want to be on the NHL roster. How did you feel like today was in terms of that first step of getting there?
I felt great. Like I said, first period was kind of getting your legs under you, but I think from on out I felt really good, and I think the team played great. And I think when the team plays good, it helps everyone else out and it makes everyone look good here.
How hungry are you to be a full-time NHLer?
Definitely getting ready for that step. I think a lot of people are here, and I think it's good inner competition. I think that's what makes a team good.
Thank you for that. We'll now go to questions on Zoom. So if you have a question, please raise your hand, and we'll start with Jason Gregor. Go ahead, Jason.
There you go. Sorry about that.
No problem. All good.
Evan, the offensive side of the game comes very natural to you. Dave Tippett's talked very openly about, he put you on the penalty kill and, to be an NHL guy, wants to use you in all those situations. You've penalty killed, obviously, at other levels. What's going to be the key to being a good penalty killer at the NHL for you?
I think it's really buying into the system. I think that's the good thing about every PK is buying into what the coaches are telling you. And I think as long as everyone's on the same page, it makes it that much easier. So I think getting used to the systems and doing what they say, I think make it that much better.
You've played in preseason games now for many years. I don't know if you've ever been in one that had this many young guys, but was almost a mistake-free game. Can you talk about just the system and how everybody was able to play it so well and really dominate from start to finish?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, everyone bought into what we came here to do. And we kept playing the puck north. We knew they had a older group and we had a younger group, we really wanted to keep it simple, and we did, and I think it paid off for us.
Thanks.
Great. That concludes Evan Bouchard's media availability. We'll be returning shortly with Derek Ryan. Ryan will take questions in the room first, followed by questions on Zoom. If you have a question on Zoom, please raise your hand.
Pretty solid effort for you guys. I know it's only the first game of the preseason, but I mean, system-wise and sticking together and playing tight as a group, it looked pretty solid out there. Did you kind of expect things to be this flow this well this early?
I mean, I don't know what expectations were. It's hard in preseason game number one, but I thought that, yeah, like you said, the group came out there, battled hard, played really tight defensively, had a couple of big saves when we needed it, and just played a really good team game. Locked it down and created lots of offense too. So, yeah, it was fun. It's a fun way to start the preseason when you have some offense and some success. Everyone's happy and everybody looks good.
For yourself, you come to a new team, you want to make a good impression. I mean, this is a nice way to start for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, even when I came here 4 weeks ago, I wanted to make a good impression right away, and that's what it's all about. So it feels good to come out here and back in the Saddle Dome and have a good game. It's a lot of fun. So a lot of different emotions coming back here, and spent 3 good years here. So yeah, it was fun.
You're a guy who kind of does everything pretty well. Coaches like to describe you as the Swiss Army knife type of person. Is that kind of reflective today of what we can expect from you as an Oiler?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm not the most skilled guy in the world or the fastest or any of those attributes, so I got to do some of the other things at a high level and at an NHL level. So I feel like I can bring a lot of different things to the team, a lot of different elements of the game. So yeah, try to focus on a lot of different little things. It's nice playing in a good Canadian market where people can recognize the nuances of the game and the little things that add up at the NHL level.
You got to look at Evan Bouchard, just a young guy, but his poise out there and the way his shot and just the way he kind of commands the ice when he's on there is pretty remarkable for a young player.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hadn't really seen it yet. This is like the first real game. Scrimmages in camp are one thing, but this is a more closer to a real NHL game, and he was elite. I thought he was really good with the puck. He has a heavy shot. He had a couple of really good shots on the PP there that could sneak through and on another day. And yeah, he's going to be a special player. I liked the poise that I saw out of him and composure, especially coming in a preseason game like this where there's a lot of jitters for everyone. It's first game, and so he seemed like he was pretty calm, cool, and composed back there.
Having a guy back there with a heavy shot who can get it through is a big deal, and just on a lot of, especially on the power play, obviously, but just in general, just having a defenseman who can let it go like that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't know about the top guys. They score some nice goals, but guys like me, we score goals by getting the puck to the top and a heavy shot, getting through and banging in rebounds. So having a guy like that can get a nice heavy shot through to the net with rebounds, that creates a lot of offense in the regular season and for sure come playoff time.
Hey, Derek, talking about your line as a whole here, on one side you have a 2021 first-round pick looking to make a stamp with this new organization. On the other side, a guy on a PTO fighting to win a job on this hockey club. How would you evaluate your line as a whole tonight? And then maybe if you can take us through individually both Borgo and Sevier.
Yeah, I thought we were really good. I mean, I don't remember spending a whole lot of time in the D zone, so that's always a good thing for a game. The time we did spend in there was pretty quick and efficient, and I thought we had at least a couple, maybe a handful of heavy shifts down low. I thought Borgie did a great job of holding on to pucks down there. Our forecheck was really good. We'd get pucks behind their D and get pucks back. And like I said, for a depth player like me, that's how you have success in this league. You're not going to, dance around guys and toe drag around guys and score a lot of goals. You have to keep it simple and get pucks deep and then retrieve pucks on the forecheck. And I thought both Sieves and Borgie were really good at that. We had a couple of good looks and good heavy shifts down low, good energy shifts for the guys, and I thought there was some chemistry there. So I thought I had fun.
For Borgo, would you say one of his best traits is the ability to find soft ice, open ice, to get that shot off?
Yeah, 100%. That was a nice spot there. Kind of the little turnover, little play behind the net where the breakdown happens and they can't, get tight enough, fast enough, and he finds a little soft area and a quick release for sure. I thought he was really good down low for, maybe not a smaller guy, but he's smaller than some. So I thought he was really good at, holding onto pucks, getting pucks down there and protecting it, and then making a play for a young guy. It's pretty impressive to me.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. We'll now go to questions on Zoom, and we'll start with Daniel Nugent-Bowman, The Athletic.
Game, just kind of get the jitters out of the way of facing your old team in the regular, before you do it in the regular season, that is.
No, quite the contrary. I was kind of surprised to be playing tonight, but now that I played, I'm happy I did. There's a lot of emotions coming back to this rink and looking up and expecting to see my family there, but they're not there anymore. They're in Edmonton, our home. So it's nice to get that kind of out of the way in the preseason, and now when we come back regular season, it'll feel just more like a normal game.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for that. We'll go to Mark Spector.
Hi, Derek. I want to ask you about Brendan Perlini. You've been around the league now for a while. This is a guy that, he comes in as a first-round pick. He's played a little while, found himself out of the league. Now he's coming back, new team, new chance. Looks like, he was very good tonight. You've seen guys like this, and you've been sort of a survivor yourself. You hang around, you move around, you keep a job. What's it like being Brendan Perlini? What's he got to do to make it stick here?
Yeah, it's tough. I think I talked about this a little bit the other day in my interview, but it's really hard to be a top 6 guy in this league, and I think Perlini's a pretty skilled player. He probably has that skill to maybe try and do that, but if you're not a top 6 guy, which there's no spots on our team for that, you have to find a way to make an impact in other ways, not flashy, and playing the game simple but being effective, not being a liability. And so I think it's not for Pearls specifically, but for everybody, and for myself, it's been finding those nuances in the game and just bearing down and being really good at those, and whether it's face-offs, whether it's being really responsible defensively, and at the same time having those heavy grind shifts as a depth player. That is huge for our top 6 to have more energy and more time instead of us getting grinded down and then they start in the D zone. It makes it pretty hard. So, I don't know. He's a great player. He has a lot of skill. I think that he for sure belongs in this league. It's just a matter of harnessing those nuances in the little parts of the game that make the depth player a successful player.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes Derek Ryan's media availability. We'll return shortly with head coach Dave Tippett. Tippett. Again, we'll take questions from the media room first and then take questions from Zoom. If you have a question, please raise your hand.
Dave, as a coach, preseason opener, what are you looking for, and what did you like about what you saw today from your guys?
Well, you're watching individuals and you know how they perform, but it's one of those games when you know we wanted to make sure we were a working group tonight. A lot of young players in there, and when the group works like that, with solid goaltending, both guys played pretty well. But the work ethic throughout the group was really strong, and so players end up looking good. You know, they come out of the game, and there's a lot of guys in that lineup that are pushing for jobs, and go out and play a strong, hard-working game on the road. Makes everybody look good.
Some of the lines already had some pretty good chemistry. Is that by design or something that just flowed?
A little bit, you know, but to me, it's more. You got people that are pushing. They want a piece of the pie, you know. And the one line, McLeod and Benson and Marody played a lot together in the American League last year, so we put them together to see if they could, you know, get going. You're trying to put people where they can. You feel like that they're going to get the best chance to show you what they have, you know. So. Shore and Tourist were solid tonight, just good veteran players. Perlini played a pretty good game with them. And Derek Ryan, that's exactly the kind of player he is. He's a smart player. Him and Sevier are both. And we put the young Boquist in with them. And it was just a solid, you know, we asked everybody just to work and compete hard and try to do some of the structure that we've been talking about in camp, and the guys came out and played well.
Derek Ryan, we asked him earlier, and that's kind of just like you said, what he does. Like he does a lot of little things during the course of a game that will help turn a game over. It's pretty exciting to have a utility weapon like that.
Yeah, he's a reliable guy. He thinks the game well and plays in so many situations, and so it's he'll be I think he'll be a nice asset for us.
Now, Evan Bouchard, everybody knows he's a talent, but when he's in that, you know, top pairing role and playing a lot of minutes in a lot of situations, you can really see the elite level of his game.
His poise with the puck is really strong, and it's you know, we've talked about him a lot. He's come up the right way. He understands the game now. He understands the expectations for him, and now it's time for him to do it. So. You know, he jumped in first exhibition game. You could tell he's a very poised player. Really has an impact on the game.
He's a guy that ideally would want to play his whole career. He's played a ton of minutes. The way he'll be breaking into the OR, there's probably won't be that much. How do you balance that, or is it?
Well, it's hard to say.
Depends
He
on
plays
him.
real well.
Yeah.
He forces you to play him, you know. So, but he's still a young player. We're playing exhibition here, you know. So, but we need to get him lots of minutes. We'll get him lots of time in exhibition. But he's ready for that challenge. I mean, physically, mentally, he's ready for the challenge. So I'm excited to see where he gets to this year.
And Perlini, all teams need a big guy who can move and has some skill. What'd you see?
Yeah. He's a guy I've known a long time. We drafted him in Arizona, and big, strong guy that you know, kind of career went kind of a little sideways for him. He's looking to get back on track. He's in great shape. He's a big guy, skates well, and he's got a knack for scoring. So. You know, he capitalized on an opportunity there tonight. So we'll keep going. I mean, he's a guy that's going to be interesting to watch going through camp. We've got some guys like him that these exhibition games are going to be, you know, tell the tale where they get to. So he didn't hurt himself tonight.
First impression of Sevier in game action, Dave?
Just solid veteran player. You know, exactly what we expected. We didn't have many penalties tonight, so we're looking to get him some penalty kill time, but. He's a solid guy. Just goes out. He knows how to play the game the right way, and you know he's a typical guy. He goes out and he just fit in well in that game. Worked hard and did the right things, and ended up getting a win.
Thank you. We'll now go to questions on Zoom, and we'll start with Mark Spector, Sportsnet. Go ahead, Mark. We'll come back to Mark. We'll go to Jason Gregor.
Many young players who play that well and poised. I know it's only preseason, but game one, were you surprised just how controlled your team was in both zones? And almost a mistake-free game.
Yeah, I mean, we our first and foremost, our number one thought tonight, we wanted to come in and make sure that everybody competed at the level that you need to be successful. And we, right throughout the lineup, you saw that. Even the goaltenders, when they were challenged, they worked hard, played a lot of pucks outside the net. But we come in, we just played a solid game. We haven't got real deep into the structure of how we want to play yet. We've had some practices on certain parts of it, but guys come in and some of the things we were trying to do, they did well. But ultimately, it was about the work ethic tonight and just playing well together, trying to make each other look good so they get in a game and play well. So it was a solid game all the way through.
You mentioned you haven't gotten into that stuff, but you talked at the end of last year. You really want to improve as a forechecking team.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that tonight. Was that one of the areas that you've focused on in the first few days of camp?
Yeah, we've done some work on that. All kind of the structure of how we play without the puck has all been what's at the forefront the first few days of camp. So not a lot of not a lot of special teams, not a lot of breakout stuff per se, but a lot of how you play without the puck, when you don't have it, you got to find a way to get it back in all three zones. So that's been the focus for the first few days.
Hi, Dave. Between the Shoreline and the McLeod line, you have 6 players there that obviously played well tonight, but there are guys that are battling for or seem to be battling for jobs at the bottom of the lineup. In a game like this, can you differentiate the quality of their performances?
Well, when you win and play a solid game, everybody looks good. But then we'll go back and watch the tape and see what everybody was doing individually. But for the most part, guys, they played solid. And that's what you're hoping for. That's one thing I talked about before the game is when you have so many players that are trying to take the next step or trying to impress or trying to grab a job. The one way you can do that is everybody play well together, and then everybody looks good. When you win, you come out of the game feeling like everybody looks good. Now, as you start digging into it a little harder, you get into some of the details of the game that you watch on video, and we'll continue to kind of monitor that. But we got 5 games this week, so a lot of those players are going to get probably minimum 4 of the 5. So we'll see how the week goes on here.
Is this almost like the opposite of wanting to burn the tape when you have a terrible game? You can watch. You know what I mean? Like you watch these.
It's early. Don't get too excited here. It's early. It's an exhibition game.
Of course, no. I just meant in terms of trying to evaluate their performances when everyone looks good, and it's kind of hard to kind of evaluate the quality of the play between the players.
You know what? When you have those games that you want to burn the tape, there's a few guys that play well on those too, and the ones where you think it's a masterpiece, you start digging into it a little harder, and there's probably a few hiccups in there. So it's probably a little bit both ways.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes tonight's post-game media availability.